Good afternoon, everybody, and hope everybody is doing well out there. Bit of an off-topic video today. I know we typically talk about the stock market, we talk about real estate, we talk about commodities, all kinds of stuff. But I want to talk about what I guess a different type of investing. I want to talk about a different type of investing today and what my plan is in particular, and how you can use this plan yourself or just copy and paste what I'm trying to do in my own personal life to escape corporate America. Now, when it comes to corporate America, most people will tell you that they hate their job. In fact, there's studies that indicate that most Americans hate their jobs. I forget the exact percentage, but I want to estimate it was about 70 to 75%. Now, sometimes I will mumble and grumble and say, my job sucks and all that, but I really don't hate my job. However, it's one of those things where, given the choice, I'm pretty sure anybody would choose the ability to have time freedom, which is the ultimate goal. It's not a certain dollar amount for me, and I don't think it should be for anybody really, because especially if your goal is time freedom, then you want to focus on finding a way where you don't have to spend as much time at your job. And eventually you can get rid of your job entirely. And some people, for example, will use their PTO, their paid time off balance, to take a day off. But when they take that day off, they're so tired that they don't want to work on anything else that might advance their financial freedom goals, their time freedom goals, which is the ultimate goal. And that's my ultimate goal. So what I mean is you need to think about, first of all, what your skills are. You also need to think about how you can create value for other people. And what I try to do on this channel in particular is hopefully provide you guys with valuable information that can help you as an investor, that can help you out there no matter what your goals are. I have experience working in the financial services industry. I have my finance degree. I was a registered broker-dealer. I've worked for a couple firms, and now I'm here giving you advice, even though we're not a registered financial advisor, but I hope that the advice can help you. That's my ultimate goal. And I'm going to keep on doing that because I believe in the mission. And I believe in bringing Wall Street to the everyday investor, because financial literacy is such a big problem in this nation. It has been for so long. And that's my passion, is to help people with financial literacy and understanding the financial markets, which are so misunderstood, right? So, and I want to do so for free. I mean, most of the content, yes, I have a, Daily Investment Advice Pro you can sign up for. I have the membership on the channel as well. That's, less expensive. You can check that out. But beyond that, I want to provide value. Like, yes, I'm going to try to make some money because I enjoy doing it and I wouldn't mind doing it full time. But I love doing it so much that I just love sharing the information, and I love giving away information for free. I love giving away free value, free information that can help you as an investor to achieve your goals based upon your risk tolerance, your whatever it is you're trying to achieve, your financial goals, right? So my goal is to provide solutions for people seeking to do those things. And that's the problem I'm solving. But you need to find a way to add value into people's lives. And by doing that, you're solving a problem. And the reward for solving that problem will be that people will pay you for whatever problem you're solving. And so it's true in business, it's true in life. When you go and show up at your job, you're solving a problem. The problem is the company needs somebody to do that role, otherwise they wouldn't have hired you. And so it's universal, give and take. What can you give me in exchange for what I'll give you? And in this case, in business, it's no different. And it sounds very simple, but it's the implementation of it that gets very complicated. And that's where it just comes down to hard work. And I know that term is thrown around so much. Just work hard and you'll be successful. That's not true in the slightest. And the reason that's not true is because there's plenty of people who work hard and they're digging ditches. I dug ditches. I literally worked at a cemetery for 3 years. I'm a literal example of somebody who dug ditches, worked their ass off, and did not get rich. Actually, I kind of did when I was working there, because I was, at the time, the stock market was going crazy. Long story short. But, when it comes to the market, when it comes to investing, when it comes to not just investing in the financial markets, but also investing in yourself, investing in your future, investing in what is it that you are good at. We're all good at something. We're all good at some kind of task, and yours might be finance. Yours might be knitting, for example. It sounds like off the rails, gardening. You might be good at anything. You might be good at mechanics, cars. And the thing I'm trying to say is all the opportunity that we have in front of us. I know people are very negative oftentimes on social media about the state of the world, the state of the economy. We're raising a generation of iPad babies and the world is going to shit, and basically watch out, because the point is, though, guys, like, even though you hear those negative talks and that negative sentiment, you can take that negativity and use it to your advantage. You can say, I'm not going to think that way. You can recognize the patterns of others, and you can say to yourself, I'm going to renew my mind. I'm not going to feed into that negative pattern of behavior. And so it's easier said than done, obviously, but if you're strategic, you can start thinking about, especially like if you have an off day, for example, you're off work on a Saturday or whatever it is, you work in corporate America, you hate your job, but you have that off day. Really take that time to reflect on what it is you're good at. Take a long walk in the park like I'm doing right now, except with no technology, and just think about where you're at right now and where you might want to be based upon your passions, your interests, your skills, and then find a way to solve a problem with the skills you have. And I am not at the point of financial freedom, but my hope, and I've built this channel and another one to a total of 16,000 subscribers, going on 17,000 here. And it's been a long journey, but it's been very rewarding. And I've been able to help a lot of people, and in the process of that, I've learned a lot as well. And so it's an ongoing daily thing. That's why it's daily investing advice, daily investment advice. It's about, taking one day at a time and focusing on what you're good at, focusing on what you can provide value to others for, and ultimately providing free value before you provide the paid value. Because, and this has been universal, even 10 years ago when I tried to start my first internet company, and I actually had a couple successes, right? I had my first $100 day. I'll never forget, and I was in high school at the time, but I guess over 10 years ago at this point, but that was my first internet business. I remember I made $200 another time in a single day, and it was just a part-time hustle on, at the time it was a muscle building blog where I talked about, not finance, but fitness and nutrition. But, it was one of those things where I was actually making some side income from it. And that was the first taste I had gotten at entrepreneurship, and it felt good, and that was over 10 years ago. But the same thing rings true today. Provide free value, provide paid value after that. And by doing so, and I'm specifically talking, by the way, about online, because regardless of what people say about the internet being dead and being, a bunch of robots and nobody's actually on the internet anymore, there's so many people on the internet. It's ridiculous. You have the robots, you have the bots you have to contend with, but you still have a ton of people globally. There's more and more people signing up for the internet or getting online, getting connected right now as we speak, and have never accessed the internet before. The internet is still not accessible to everybody out there, guys. That's what people don't realize. Like, there's still a segment of the population out there that has not had access to an iPhone. Okay, think about that. We live in the first world. The market is still growing. I don't care what anybody says about AI and content creation and AI slop and the internet being dead. That's where we are still. And it's only going to accelerate because, like, the iPhone came out at this point, it would have been 17, 18 years ago. Hard to believe, right? But I remember that moment. And, you know, people say AI is now the iPhone moment. We're not going to need people to do video editing and, you know, all that kind of stuff. We're not going to need people on YouTube even or Hollywood, because AI is going to do everything. But just as I'm talking to you right now, it's about human connection. And that's going to be very, very valuable going forward. And I am predicting that as we accelerate into this digital age, as things continue to move online, and as the internet continues to expand, even though people think it's dead, we're just entering a new phase of the internet, a new phase of technology. But, you know, Web 1.0, late 90s, early 2000s, Web 2.0, mid 2000s to 2020, Web 3.0 is now accelerating. And here we are. So that's your opportunity. Provide value, think about your skills. What are you good at? Start making a YouTube video today. You know, what's holding you back? Fear? Is it the fear of, you know, people judging you or thinking that you're a weird person because you're making videos talking about topics that you're interested in, and in the process you're helping other people? I mean, is that weird? That's what business is, right? And so people can look at you, they can judge you, they can say whatever they want, but they're not the ones creating the videos. They're the ones just kind of making comments offhanded about how stupid they think it is for you to be making YouTube videos or to be doing this or that. And it's not just YouTube. I'm talking about anything. It could be Etsy. It could be, you know, you found a way to create a product and now you're selling it online globally. You know, you have a patent, something, some kind of idea, something you're good at, something that will solve a problem, some kind of skill. You have it in you. I have it in me. I'm not financially free, but I know that I will be one day, Lord willing. But I know that I will be because, like, I have the drive. You have the drive in you. It's all a matter of now, the last point I want to make is focus. Focus on one problem. How many people do you know who got rich trading crypto and, you know, drop shipping and doing YouTube full time and also doing consulting? Not many, right? Because the reality is nobody, and I would argue none, because like the more you focus in on one problem, the more you focus in on one thing, the easier it's going to be to provide a solution to that problem. So I'll leave it with that, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and we will see you all in the next one. Take care out there.